adventurers, welcome back to Underdark Cellars. It's late at night. Why is it late at night? It's a very good question. It's because tomorrow is one of my best friend's birthdays, and I want to do something fun and challenging for her birthday. I don't know if you've seen all of those vintage heart cakes that have taken over social media, but I want to give it a shot. I've never done one of these before. This is way outside my comfort zone, but we're gonna give it a shot for Kayla. Okay, wait, what temperature do I have to preheat the oven? We're gonna combine our dry ingredients. So our cake flour, our all-purpose flour. Now I'm doing a 50-50 mix. One, I really like the texture that we get from cake flour, but because this is several layers and I'm going to be cutting it and shaping it, we're going to use some all-purpose flour to give it a little bit of extra structure. To that, we are also going to add our cocoa powder, our baking soda, and our baking powder, and our salt. Probably the most important thing is sugar. I'm actually worried this is not a big enough bowl. Your girl might have to... Nothing is where it's supposed to be. This is a better decision, I think. Yeah, so I'm making my mix, my cake from scratch. The only reason I'm doing that is because I already have all of the ingredients at home. If you want to use box mix, use box mix. I guess, okay, so part of the drama with these like cakes, these vintage heart cakes, is that individual bakers were selling them for like $150, which for like an 8-inch cake is kind of insane in my opinion. Everything here in my materials from scratch probably cost me 20 bucks total. Ugh, oh my gosh. Hold please. Yeah, but I guess like there's this drama in the cake baking community, and some baker, I'm not gonna name names, is getting upset because now Walmart is selling these same vintage heart cakes, but for like way less. We listen and we kind of judge. In this bowl, I am going to add my vegetable oil and my melted butter. I like the richness of butter, but the oil will keep your cake nice and moist at room temperature. And then we're going to add our whole milk and 4 large eggs. Oh, I forgot the vanilla extract. And about 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla extract. I'm just gonna eyeball it. You know what? Screw it, we're just gonna finish it off. More flavor is better than less. We're just gonna pop. All right, so I'm gonna add this to our dry mix. We're gonna mix. Perfect timing. All right, and then we're gonna add a cup of very strong hot coffee. All right, we are going to move that to the side and prep our pans. I need to cut out several parchment paper circles. I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. Super easy. Okay, do you remember making a snowflake in like elementary school? The same concept here. So you're gonna fold your parchment paper into like 16ths. And we're gonna fold this 16ths. We are going to take this and just estimate where this comes to. And we're just gonna cut on, yeah, I know, it's a lot to cut through. Don't embarrass me. These scissors suck. Kind of a jagged edge. But you'll see. Wow! Spray here. Pop this down on here. Like that. We're gonna pop these in the oven for about...
While the cakes are in the oven, I might as well talk about Kayla and Gush. We lived like one apartment over from each other, so like we would watch Chinese dramas together and we would like go over to each other's places for dinner like all the time, and especially for like study nights, and you know, when I'd have a mentee bee or if she would have a mentee bee, we would be in each other's mentee bees. We've been through it together. And she's just incredible. Genuinely one of the most thoughtful people ever. just deserving of the whole world. Eldest daughter. If you know, you know. But yeah, just genuinely like one of the most deserving people in the whole world. Literally just deserves to have everything handed to her on a silver platter. And here's the thing though, she would also just turn it down because I think she likes to work hard, and she's just the best. I'm sorry, did I also mention that she plays like several instruments? She's intellectually she's brilliant. She's throws herself into her studies. She plays several instruments. She speaks multiple languages. Like this woman is quite possibly one of the coolest people I've ever met in my entire life. Anyway, you could consider me a Kayla stan. So she's just kind of amazing.
Well, these are a little on the sunken side, but they are done. Now this is salvageable. I'm not stressed about this. This has happened before. It will happen again. Oh boy. All right, let's flip these. Yoink. Just do this. And then go like. We're making a raspberry filling for this cake. 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of water, we're gonna set this over medium heat. I'm also gonna while that's going, I have 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and 3 tablespoons of water. We're gonna mix that together to create a slurry. Now that we've reached a good boil, we need to strain this because you don't want to have a beautiful piece of chocolate cake and then bite into a metric ton of seeds. So once this is nice and strained, we're gonna transfer this back to this pot. Turn the heat to low. We're gonna let this come together. You'll see it's already starting to come together. So I added that cornstarch slurry in. It's starting to thicken. All right, here we go. After that comes together, you'll be left with this gorgeously thick raspberry filling. We're gonna let this cool in the fridge overnight before we put this on the cake. I have the layers wrapped individually in plastic wrap and they're chilling in the fridge. We're gonna let this cool down. I will see you tomorrow morning. So we're back. It's the next day. The cakes are still chilling in the fridge. The raspberry, I almost said cranberry, raspberry filling for the cake is in the fridge as well. And we're moving on to the frostings. I have not done these before. I've not made Italian meringue buttercream, but it calls for 5 egg whites and I don't want to waste eggs. So we're going to also make French buttercream with the 5 egg yolks because in this economy, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? You want me to waste eggs in this economy? No. Kayla would want me to be frugal. So that's what we're doing. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so this one doesn't need to be done simultaneously, I think. This can be done first. So we're going to add our 5 egg yolks into our mixer. Ooh, that's lovely. We're gonna let this go until they're pale yellow, about 5 minutes. So I believe this is pale yellow enough. I'll let it mix for another minute or 2. But I need to start on the sugar. So I need to combine 2/3 of a cup of granulated sugar and 3 tablespoons of water. All right, and then we're gonna, she said, stream this down the side of, we'll see if this works. So now we're going to add in the butter, like a tablespoon at a time. Okay, so now I need to add in the flavors. Raspberry emulsion, a little bit of vanilla. So between this And the raspberry filling we made yesterday, this is what is gonna go in between our cake layers. So the question is, do we shape it into a heart or not? I am going to try my best. So, and then if you remember last night, our cakes were a little wonky. Already I know chilling these before cutting them was the right decision. I just need to get these flat enough. Let's see what that looks like. I mean, that's not too shabby. Oh, I see. There's a problem over here. Okay. It'd be really handy if I had one of those little leveling thingies, but again, I don't do cakes often enough to like justify purchasing. Okay, this is the stressful part. What I need to do is cut off like, oh gosh, it's happening. Okay. And then we put this here somehow. How do they do that? How do they do that? Do they just, how do they do that? Hold please. Okay, they use buttercream, which I do not have prepped, to stick it together. So, because the French buttercream was gonna be used for something else, do I have enough? Can I? If I just, yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah. My hands are clean, I swear. I see. Now that, okay, that's better. And then what I've also seen is people cut out like the center. Oh, that looks so, Okay, well, we're gonna just stick with it. So we're just gonna, okay. Wait, she's kind of cute. So now we've got this raspberry filling. We're gonna heap a generous amount onto here. We need it to stick. Line up these corners. I've got a couple concerns, but I think a rough, like, crumb coat will solve most of them. Really, really rough crumb coat. I don't even have enough of this buttercream left to do a full crumb coat, and I'm pretty sure it's leaning. That's okay. So, oh, it's so crooked. We're gonna let it chill while I hurry and work on the rest of the buttercream. Okay. Also, I'm using Chef Lindsay Farr's Italian meringue buttercream recipe because I have not made this by myself, and I'm very scared that it's going to be so bad. So I'm using someone else's recipe. So we're gonna use, in this, 2/3 of a cup of butter and 1 cup of sugar. We are going to mix this until it kind of dissolves. Well, just until it's all kind of even. And then we're gonna add our candy thermometer. We're gonna start heating this on low. When it starts to bubble, we're going to add the egg whites. So I'm just gonna put these in our clean bowl for now. She said that cream of tartar works as a stabilizer for egg whites. Did you just want to help? Is that what this is? You just wanted to see what was going on? It's gonna be fine, Cara, right? What do you think? Oh boy. Yeah, is it gonna be fine? Okay, it's starting to bubble. Oh no. We're gonna add a little bit of cream of tartar. I mean, I would say this is starting to get frothy. So let's add in the reserved sugar. And we need to whip medium-high till we get stiff peaks. I think I need to tune up my stand mixer. Hello! Go, girl, go! Okay, I think this... Yeah, I think this is where we need to be. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, and it needs to be fairly warm to the touch on the sides of the bowl before I add in the butter. Okay, that I will say is barely warm. All right. Switch to a paddle attachment. You're going to add a butter a piece at a time. Okay. This is a little on the thin side. She said that if it's a little runny, we can put it in the fridge and let it solidify a bit and then whip it. While we're here, let's go ahead and add in our chocolate. I think this is too thin. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop this in the, oh, there's no way this will work on a cake right now. So we're gonna pop this, actually let me add the food coloring while I'm here. And then we can pop this in the fridge for a little bit so it'll stiffen. And then we will whip that once it's kinda settled. Narrator Hillary, I'm just frosting this cake and then I'm using an offset spatula to try and smooth out the sides the best I can. We are at this stage, so we're just gonna start decorating. Okay, so I tried my best to imitate a ruffled edge that I saw on TikTok, but again, my piping skills aren't great because I don't do a lot of cake decorating. I think a lot of practice would, be beneficial here. But overall, I think it turned out fine, I also did the bunting drape around the edge. It's not a vintage cake if you don't have that. So I also added a second layer of bunting drapes around the cake. Then I went in and added a border at the bottom because the thing that I've learned watching cake decorators do these is that if you feel like you have enough detail, you're wrong, and it actually looks better as you add more detail. It will look funky if you don't add enough. There were a couple sections like right here that the frosting was acting weird, so I just scraped it off and, tried again, and it turned out great. And really, I just learned that more detail is more in this situation. If you feel like you've added enough detail, you're wrong and you need to go back in and add more. Again, it just looks better, so really small piping tips help. I'm also going along the bottom here and adding like a star edge because I thought that would help. It just doesn't look complete without it. And then I'm again going in and adding more detail. I think the thing that I learned about it took forever, but the reason it took forever was because of all the detail that needed to be added to this cake. Now I'm gonna try my best and pipe a K in frosting. Ooh! Anyway, after my soul left my body for like 2 minutes, I had to step away and take a very deep breath. I went ahead and added some frosting mounds to the top of the cake for candles to sit in along, and I also added some hearts and additional stars to the sides of the cake. And it started to come together, but this top was still missing something, so I went around that inner edge.
Let's just do it general.
And then, of course, we need edible glitter so that they could sparkle in low light. And then I was like, why not make this even more complicated and add these edible pearls, these sugar nonpareils? And then I was like, well, let's make it even more complicated and try to cover the K that I piped in pearls without tweezers to help, put things in specific places. I also pre-melted some of these sparkler candles. I put in the 2 and the 7 because it's her 27th birthday. So, class, what have we learned today? We have learned that decorating cakes is not my strong suit. I think it turned out really cute in like a very homemade kind of way. It does not have the professional finish that others do. I am very glad that I got the frosting to work out. I was very scared that the frosting would not work out. I think the flavors are gonna be great. It's chocolate and raspberry. You honestly can't go wrong with chocolate and raspberry. But yeah, will I make something like this again? Probably. I do definitely want to work on my cake decorating skills. It was a fun opportunity for me to do that. Ooh, yeah, I think she's cute. I think definitely a new hobby for me to work on. Not that I need any more of those. That brings us to the end of the episode. If you liked what you saw, smash that like button. If you have comments, questions, suggestions, drop those down below. If it's your birthday, happy birthday! And do something nice for someone else. Make sure you take care of yourselves, adventurers. Life is rough out there. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. But now I gotta clean up all this glitter.